Hi everyone and welcome to Warmer. We're your hosts, Jack.
And Dan.
Oh, it's like pause on that one.
I like it. It is.
Spicing
keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, I like it. Fantastic.
I just forgot what my name was for a second there.
You're going to be like, is it
Who
Jack
am
or
I?
Dan?
Yeah.
What's in the script? But today we are looking at the Adepticon reveals. Some absolute bangers have came out of this one.
Oh, yes. I was expecting it to be a good one because GW likes to do a good one in mid-season of an edition to address the mid-season slump, but they surpassed my expectations.
I feel like this is the first one where this one was, for me anyways at least, it was better than like the old world one where like I used to look at old world, I'm like, oh, look at those dragons, that looks cool, like the skeletons and such, but like I feel like this one outshined it a lot.
Everything they did, like right, banger, love it, great.
Wish list.
Yeah, I know, FOMO.
Yeah, I need to buy it. It is a necessity.
Good.
But yes, Dan, so what are we talking about today?
Well, we'll run through all the reveals, so we'll give our thoughts on what we think they got right and wrong, although we've probably just spoiled that. But I think I need to ask some of the big questions as well, which is who is still missing from the Codex map? I'm very salty about that. Is the Year of Chaos actually going to be as good as we were expecting? That's some of and what the new mission deck means for 40k because that is going to
big change.
Looks massive, doesn't it?
Yeah, some good little changes that they're making. I'm going to be interested to see.
Really excited
how it plays out.
Yeah.
Because obviously we'll talk about more later.
Well, we're going to get it. We'll play one game and you'll beat me, and I'll go, "This is bullshit.
This is the
I hate
worst
this.
edition.
This is the worst card deck ever." I'm going,
Very nice, very nice. Well, should we crack off with some reveals then?
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off?
Why not? So we got some lovely space wolves. Almost said furries. But no, some space wolves got a massive glow up, showcasing some box set that they're going to be getting filled with some. I would say some pretty good ones.
They've done, I think Space Wolves players are over the moon instead of howling at the moon.
So bad, but
no, that's as good as it. Listen, this is the third video I've recorded today. That's as good as it's going to get.
We've peaked. If it's stop now.
Some would argue I peaked a long time ago. But tell us. I mean, they basically got their Primaris upgrades at last. A lot of these units, didn't they?
They certainly have. So I'll run down the quick list of all of them there. So we've got the Blood Claws, which is basically their scout equivalent. Got some Grey Hunters, some Wolf Guard. What I think I called our head takers.
The head takers with their axes look awesome. Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah,
we've also got the Wolf Guard Battle Leader as well.
Their version of like captain or whatever. Yeah,
very nice. And lastly, probably one of my favorites. I think probably a fan favorite, the Wolf Priest.
Yes.
Now that guy, interesting name, right? Interesting name for those Thousand Sons.
A priest
lovers.
and definitely not a
psyker. Interesting, isn't it, Space Wolf players? So anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, we've what was that book called again?
Thousand Sons.
That's in the name, I guess.
Yeah.
Thousand Sons. So there was a scene in there where obviously the Space Wolves are a bit. Well, should we talk about spoilers?
Yeah, well, I think it's fine. The book's been out about 15 years. I think we're okay.
Years up behind if you want to catch up. But basically, the Space Wolves are basically attacking the home world of the Thousand Sons.
Yeah.
And their rune priests are basically like the whole reason why this kicked off was because of the Council of Ikea, where psychers were banned. Thousand Sons kind of tiptoed along that line of stopping.
They just ignored it, basically. Yeah.
Pretty much ignored it. So the Space Wolves were sent because Magnus did
lots of things wrong.
Did lots of things wrong.
Yeah.
And basically there's a cool little encounter where basically the Space Wolves were using their priest-like powers, which they claim come from their home world.
Fenris.
Fenris, but instead it's clearly indicated that these
they're basically they're basically psychers, but they're like, oh no, we're not psychers.
It's a different type
you
of
guys
magic.
Are the heretics. It's
exactly.
a different kind of magic.
Very much a hypocritical standpoint on that.
Yes,
that one.
It's something that we're both. It's one of those lovely complexities in 40k where it's a 40k. Particularly Black Library writers, they're like, right, do we want to operate in the good or bad, or do we want to be in this morally grey area?
Yeah.
And it's a great example in the heresy of that morally grey area.
Yeah.
But we digress. The battle box,
we do.
He's in the battle box. He's a badass model. The battle box comes with the Codex as well, doesn't it?
It certainly does, yeah. Codex battle cards, I think, as well. The little display cards.
On.
So again, very similar to the Imperial Guard one for the Krieg box that came out.
You were signed up straight away for the Krieg box.
I did.
Do you like this one?
This one was okay. This box. I mean, because again, I'm not a Space Marine player,
no.
So I'm not going to be buying the box. But overall, I thought the box, its contents, is banging, to be fair.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
I think they've done some really good sculpts with all of the models and such. I do have a very small rant, but do you want to talk about your one first? What you like?
I can do, yeah. I think the 40k furries were massively overdue a range refresh.
Yeah.
I really like the Rune Priest model. I mean, I'm not mad keen on Space Vikings, but one of the things I do like about them is they're full of flavour.
Yes.
One of the accusations this edition has been that GW's kind of watered it down and made the things a bit samey. I mean, these guys are as far from the Codex Astartes and as you can get and still be a Space Marine.
Yes,
that, you know, they just do. They just
do their own thing.
Yeah.
Again, I think absolutely right. I think for me, it's a lot of character. Like you see them, you immediately go, forget the paint scheme. You look at the model and you go, that is a Space Wolves.
Yes,
exactly.
Whereas
you look at anything else and you're like, that could be any chapter. So that's what I like about that.
I fully agree. I think battle box value, the battle box will always be better value than buying individual units, but it's going to depend on pricing. And the reason I say that is because it won't be out for a little while and we're due a price rise. Yeah. Now, normally GW did its price rise in January, but last year it surprised us all. We didn't think we'd get one and we got one in May. So it might be that we're going to get one in May again.
I mean, those profits need to be bigger.
Well,
you know
I mean, I'm not sure it does. I suppose it does. I think this is a slight aside here, but I think GW is getting ready to sell the company. Yeah. There's a couple of things happening. There's a very big asset management fund called Fidelity that's just bought in. They have to announce if you own more than 5% of the company, you have to let the stock market know. Right. And they've just gone up to about 6.5%, which is an interesting sign. But also the two main guys, the chief executive and I think it's the chief financial officer, they obviously get paid a dividend like the rest of us when you get your share. They pay out dividend, but they have committed to buy more shares with that money, so they don't pocket it. But that's usually a sign that because if someone's going to buy the company, you want to build your share, you want to build how many shares you've got. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this year, I don't think. But the plans are definitely in place for. My view is they're definitely looking to sell.
Big shake-up that might be.
Yeah, it would be. It would be huge. It would be huge. But that's as an aside. What do you think about this? You wanted to have a little rant?
just a little rant.
Yes.
So, in this universe where there are superhuman people who have pinpoint accuracy. You've got those people who are Vindicar assassins that can snipe people from absolute miles away. You've got the Tau railgun that again doesn't stop and just goes from A to B. I just can't get away with not having helmet variants with Space Wolves. If you look at their box, again, I'll put it on screen so you can see.
Right.
More than half of them don't have helmets on.
Yeah.
And it's literally stated in the Thousand Suns book.
Oh, it is,
where they were laughing, being like, we're just popping these guys off left, right, and center because they're not wearing helmets.
Headshot. Headshot.
Exactly. It was so easy for them to take them out. And they had a really hard time getting combat. And yes, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Rule of cool might take over for a lot of people. But for me, I'm a head kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like it. I love it. I love seeing it.
Good head is very important.
Exactly.
In life. Yeah.
Take that how you will.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, everyone out there. But yeah, for me, you've got to have the helmets on. Like, I feel like it's silly in this universe.
They should just have minus one to save. They should be saving on 4s
that
instead of 3s.
Good.
Yeah,
I'll take that. I'll take that. A lot of people out there who play the game probably wouldn't have that.
No.
I think I would.
But no, I know what you mean. But really cool for me, and I do think GW did promise more models. Is another point that I forgot about before, and the rumor is Terminators, Space Wolf Terminators.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
But speaking of Space Wolf Terminators, I've got some of the old metal ones. So we've got a bunch of old metal Space Wolves. So if you're going to buy this battle box and then you want to pretend that you've been into Space Wolves for ages, come and talk to me and buy my metal Space Wolves.
Sell them on.
Yeah.
Triple the price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Good.
Very nice. Well, apart from obviously the Space Wolves, we've got more stuff coming out, but it's going to be the year of chaos, right?
Yeah. Now, I just wanted to. I feel a little bit churlish about this, but we always try and give both sides, right? And we were both buzzing when Emperor's Children came out because that was a long overdue
big refresh.
Yeah, big range refresh.
Lovely sculpts, lovely models.
And they've announced in Adepticon the Year of Chaos. Obviously, the next they're all getting their codexes. So World Eaters Codex, Thousand Suns Codex, Death Guard Codex. But there's one of those in particular, World Eaters, that only really has half a Codex worth of units.
Yes.
They kind of half-arsed it when they brought them out end of 9th, and they've been waiting now 2 years to get the rest of the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And they got one model,
which
announced at Adepticon.
Bit of a slap in the face.
It is.
For the hype, again, because you got to think about the hype that they've been going on about this. Being like, they literally advertised it as the year of chaos.
Yeah.
And granted, like, they've had some fantastic releases with the Emperor's Children.
Yes.
Slaanesh. Not Slaanesh. The Emperor's Children's.
Fulgrim, yeah.
Fulgrim, that's the one. A couple of releases of him, been fantastic. But yeah, to see again some falling down, like for it not to be shared out across the board, I think is what is the big kicker for me.
Death Guard and Thousand Sons are very old factions. I mean, World Eaters are, but Death Guard have got a lot of units.
Yeah.
So their model actually got leaked because GW sent us a version of it to somebody. They mail ordered one out in January by accident. Yeah. So this guy posted on Instagram like, guys, I didn't order this, but this is what they've sent me.
That's the way to go. You want to post on Instagram. That it gets in touch with the right people, but 2, it just leaks the crap out of it.
So they had to announce that one at
a bit earlier than they thought.
Yes, I can't remember when it was, but then that's a load of poxes. Yeah, so they showed it was LVO, of course. They showed it LVO because it had been accidentally leaked. So we've already seen that, but it was meant to be shown at Adepticon. So they kind of showed it again
a bit early.
World Eater's only got Slaughterbound. It's an amazing model. It's like a leader for the 8-bound, which is quite scary because the 8-bound are pretty tasty as they are.
They're tough by
we get some leader that gives them extra buffs.
I'd almost say, like, I think the model itself looks okay.
I love it.
I'm actually sold on it. To be fair. No, I just think it looks a bigger version of what they are, which on paper would make sense.
I mean, that's the thing. They've done such a good job with the 8-bound that you can't really go much more extra.
Yeah, that's true. That is also true. Yeah, because 8-bound units is great. But
lovely sculpts.
For me, though, I don't know about you, but you know the Death Guard model that they've released?
A lot of boxes, yeah.
Yes. That model, to me anyways, at least, looks too clean for a Death Guard army. If you look back at the Terminators, they got that like rot kind of in the bellies, and got like the scythes that are like pouring of just ooze and such. You look at this guy and he's very clean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it for a Death Guard. I want that grit. I want that dirt.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, a really good point. And I think Thousand Sons got new robots, which apparently everybody loves according to the internet. These Sekitar robots. It wouldn't be 40k if the community wasn't
divided as always. But what about you? Where do you sit on this one? Because I personally love the model. Don't like the paint scheme. Not the paint scheme, but the painting choice that they've done for this model. A lot more white than what I would like. It almost looks more like a Wraithbone Eldar kind of thing.
I think these robots are meant to be really old, and I think the paint scheme they went with was almost more 30k than 40k. And I didn't know. Yeah, I'm not too sure about it. I do quite like the models. Tell you the other thing about the paint scheme, right? Is they showed you some pictures of the back of the model. Hopefully we can put one on screen to show what I'm talking about. But it's just the entire back of the model is just painted black with a bit of edge highlighting, and it just looks very blocky.
Without actually, like, I don't know if anyone's seen it before, but if you look at that model without looking at the front first, you'd almost be confused to say, well, like, this just like an Imperial Knight kind of thing.
Yeah.
The back of it is the very same looking chassis.
I mean, it's okay. I fully agree.
Like it's okay. I don't know much about the lore around the Thousand Sons, but I've never came across or heard about these robots being a thing.
I think
until now.
I'm sure this was relatively new lore. It was in something in the Black Library where they rediscovered like one of the old STCs or something like that.
Right, okay.
Because these things in 30k, these robots definitely existed.
Yes.
Or like pre-heresy and in the heresy. So and they needed some anti-tank, like our friend Alex. While the rest of the internet's arguing about whether they look good or not, Alex was like, "Oh, I hope they've got some. I hope they're good at anti-tank."
That's what he said. Yeah, he was immediately like, "Well, I hope they're just good.
Yeah,
like I hope they're playable."
They have been lacking a little bit of anti-tank. Yeah. Not, like you've got Doombolt and stuff, and Magnus hits like a brick, but
of course
they needed they will fill that role,
more variety kind of thing. Yeah,
so that's good. I think the other criticism though was, like we said, is World Eaters really needed more. According to what we've been told, they're obviously they're shoving demons into these legions, the traitor legions, the deity legions, so they will get access to Khorne demons, but according to what we've been told, it's just for one of the detachments in their book.
Yeah.
So the other 4 detachments, you're still stuck playing with half a codex.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what's that going to do with the? Because obviously, it was announced that there's it's not been showcased, but there's no demon codex there.
No.
So it's like, right, well, what's really going to happen with all their units?
Yeah.
Are they going to get split between the 4 different codexes?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
For the demon players, having to buy 4 different ones for all the different codes.
I
to
know.
lock them.
I
Like,
know.
how are they going to work that out?
But yeah, so I mean, the Death Guard range was always very character heavy. This was the third
was,
Lord, so he was kind of in the lore. This was the missing Lord.
Yeah.
But our friend Lewis plays Death Guard. He's like, well, I don't really need another character.
Yeah.
Unless it does something that the others don't.
The thing is, if you look back the last 4 releases for Death Guard, I think they have just been character. You do just get sick of it. Yes, you might want to get it just as a completionist, but for someone who wants to play the game, it might not be something to pick up.
Yeah. It's and if that's all that they're going to get for the Year of Chaos, so Slanesh have done great.
Fantastic start.
Emperor's Children, awesome.
Yeah.
Demons, you're not getting a codex up yours.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Buy all 4.
Yeah.
Middle finger.
Yeah. World Eaters get 1 unit. Death Guard get 1 unit. Thousand Sons get 1 unit. That's not a Year of Chaos, is it?
It's not really.
It's a very short period of chaos.
Yeah.
It's not great.
No. I mean, they've looked like they put more design work into there. I don't know if you've seen, remember the boxes that they released? They were like, oh look, like they almost advertise it like as if you want to buy all 4.
Right.
Because remember the little coin you can get.
Yes, if you buy all 4 codexes,
you get a coin that
joins, connects together.
Like, no offense, but I mean they're all the special edition ones.
Yeah.
So they said they were only going to make 1,600, I think, or something.
Oh no, you're kidding.
So, so 1,600 of each of them. So being able to get one of those in probably that price range is probably going to be like at least 60 upwards, because the special edition one for pointing over there, it's not even over there.
It used to be,
yeah. That was 60 quid. So this box containing this extra stuff is probably going to be in the 70 quid to 80 quid mark.
Yeah,
I'd say, with all the extras.
Not good. It's not good. It's not great. It's not the Year of Chaos I was expecting. Yeah. I'm not a Chaos player, but I did expect more. I was expecting at least the completion of the World Eaters and a little bit more for Thousand Sons. They said
Year of Chaos. They didn't say it was going to be a positive one.
No, that's true.
No, they did just. It is going to be the Year of Chaos. I mean, Space Wolves snuck in there.
Yeah.
I was expecting more Grey Knights than anything, personally.
Everybody, the way they'd been talking in the past about what was coming next, it looks like Space Wolves would jump the queue in front of Grey Knights. Yeah. Because Grey Knight players are not happy. But don't blame them. They play Grey Knight, so why would you? But yes, I think that's that pretty much covers that.
Good pictures.
So we went from good to bad to something that we're very excited about. So the new mission deck.
Yes. So this is going to be replacing Secret Mission, right?
So this is this is we started with the Leviathan deck, then we got the Pariah Nexus deck for the second year, and this is the third and final deck, which will take us through, in theory, to the end of this edition.
Yes,
mental that we're talking about.
Did jump the gun on that one there. Yes, you were explaining the mission deck, and I was like, just the challenge deck.
But that is, you're right. I mean, that is the big change, massive change. So yeah.
Well, obviously, as you say, this mission deck is going to replace, as you say, all the other ones that use the Incursion, Strike Force, but there's now something slightly different now, isn't there?
So there's going to be 3 ways to play. Incursion and Strike Force, as you say, which are 1,000 and 2,000 points.
Spot on.
And then the third new way to play is called Asymmetric War.
Yes.
Which
hasn't stated points, I don't think, right?
It doesn't, and I think it's because it's basically casual / narrative. So this is like attacker versus defender type stuff. So you can play some really cool things, like my 1,000 points of guard worth versus your 3,000 points of tyranids and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's why the points aren't on there, because I think it might be a bit different. Each of the 3 ways to play has got its own deployment cards.
They certainly do. Do you want to talk about them?
Yeah. So I think that the one that they showcased was, I think, Dawn of War. But basically, you will the deployment zones, the measurements are slightly different. So for 1,000 points, you're going to be a bit closer together, I think. And Incursion is also, for 1K games, is going to have restrictions on what units you can take, which I think is to stop you spamming good units in 1K lists. And I'm wondering if they're going to put restrictions on, like, for example, for Necron players, they might say for 1,000 point games you can't take a Catan, which it might be, or you can't take if you're playing. We just talked about Chaos, you can't take Angron or Mortarion or something. just to try and make those 1K games a little bit more balanced.
Like Epic Heroes, maybe, to try
It
and
might be.
something
It
like
might
that.
be. Yeah, or it might be units over a certain points value.
The thing is, I can kind of get it because, again, if you take, we mentioned it in a video recently, but if you do bring a Catan with 1,000-point game, man, it would suck for the other opponent.
Or 3 monoliths.
Oh. Who would do that, Dan?
Yeah.
Not me.
No. But yeah, if 1,000-point games are often games where people are learning the game. You know, it's as you're building your army up.
Yep.
So they do want them to be a bit more balanced and both players to feel like there's less feels bad moments, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy with that. And as you mentioned, do you want to talk us through this one? But secret. So in the first deck, Leviathan, we had Gambits, which nobody really liked.
Everyone was like,
yeah.
I think when the Gambits first came out, and I've seen a trend, and maybe I do want to mention this, but when Gambit was first announced, I actually was like, this sounds great.
Yeah.
Hey, something new. Hey, thumbs up. I love something new. Let's give it a try. It came out, I then realized there was no situation in which I would ever take a Gambit.
They were beyond Hail Marys. They were just
you're already losing, so why then go for something random that you possibly can't get? Like get into the middle.
You have to be an incredible player, and I think at competitive level, players very quickly learned how to counter them.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, once you learn, there's only 4 of them to do.
Yeah,
and then it's like, I don't know, like say that you have to get back to your deployment zone. Then if your opponent immediately starts running back, it's like, all right,
I know what you're doing now.
But I'll say, so that was in 9th. So now in 10th edition, you have the secret missions.
Yes.
Which, again, I thought, thumbs up, this looks great. I'm possibly going to use them.
When they came out, we did a video. We're both very excited to say these are loads better than Gambits. We're definitely going to use these.
Didn't use them. I've not used one since getting them. And again, I've just never been in the situation where I'm losing that much. I need to use it. Or if I am losing that much, I then don't have the facility to complete any of the
That is the
missions.
issue. I've been in a couple of places where I've got my ass kicked and I could have took a secret mission, but I've either forgotten or looked at it and thought none of these are going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, usually if you're that far behind on points, it's because you're being close to being tabled, you're getting battered. And if you haven't got the utility to score them, then yeah.
Now, the new one, obviously mid-10th edition, is now what's called Challenger. Yeah. So are we going to sit here and say, Dan, these are going to be used?
Oh, yeah, we're going to totally use these.
Yeah, we always use these guys.
But in fairness, there is a reason for that, is because they're not end-of-game all-or-nothings anymore.
Correct. It's like all throughout the game, right? Where you basically, if your opponent is leading by 6 points.
6 or more victory points, yeah.
Yeah, you are able to basically pull this special card, which basically allows you to either do one of 2 things. Which is 1, you either get a free stratagem.
Yes.
Or 2, you can do a little action or
an extra
secondary.
Yeah, an extra secondary.
To get 3 extra victory points, which I think is pretty interesting. I think you mentioned that there was a couple of ones in there that you would pretty much always guarantee to take.
I think so. I mean, the first thing I'd say is let us know, Sigmar players, but I think this is something that they've taken from, and they do this quite a bit. They'll trial things in Age of Sigmar, and if it works, they put it in 40k. Like the way Fights First works in this edition, that was in the last edition of Sigmar, and I think this has come from Sigmar. But yeah, there is one of them called the Challenger card. The 0 CP strat is called Force of Breach, where you can basically walk through terrain and enemy models.
See, it's pretty decent, yeah.
Or for your Challenger mission, you score 3 VP if one of your units is within your deployment zone and not within 9 inches. And sorry, wholly within. I've got that completely wrong. It's not within your deployment zone, and it is wholly within 9 inches. It's like mini containment.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's outside your deployment, within 9 inches of a board edge, wholly, you score 3 points.
Exactly. Now this is an action, so this is where it might start to get a little bit hard, because obviously you've got your normal primary mission where you got to hold objectives, and you get your secondary missions. So you might get cleanse and sabotage.
Yeah.
Then if you get this, which is another action, you might start to struggle in terms of having the units available to complete them. But on the flip side, you might.
This is it. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Because then, do you then literally just pick? I mean, like for these ones, again, I think we only have access to 2 of them, which is the Force of Breach and the Renewed
Focus is the other one, yeah.
Which is the Renewed Focus one to score those points. 1 unit from your army that is more than 15 inches away from any other
units from your
army. See, that one is it's a weird one, isn't it? Like you don't like.
No. It's almost like behind enemy lines. It's just like dropping in one
out.
Like a hex mark or a parasite or Mortrex and scoring you 3 points.
It's almost like, hey, are you completely buggered? You're
Yeah.
in turn 2 and you've got no units.
Yeah.
Here's 3
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
You know. So yeah, I mean, it's a weird one. I was gonna say it's been interesting because do you want to bring just one unit to make sure you can achieve these extra secondary missions?
It's going to be interesting. That's it. Is if you're going to take but in my view, looking at those, my immediately thoughts, and I'm not saying I'm the world's best player by any means, as any regular viewers will know, but I mean these are going to massively change the game. They're going to make games more swingy because if I'm a few points ahead, you get the opportunity to catch up or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to take things like a free strat to drive a tank through a building to shoot you than the 3 victory points.
There's a few armies out, because that was one of my vibes when I first read it, where like I read that one first.
Yeah.
And I immediately thought, well, hold on. There's already armies out there that can do that anyways for a stratagem.
Yes.
So is that a waste for them, or is it just like, I don't know, it's just weird.
I mean, it would allow you technically, if you were playing, let's say, is it Star Shatter? You can do it in. There's a couple of others where you can spend CP to move through buildings.
Yeah.
So then you can do it with 2 units in one turn. That's big.
2 units wouldn't be too bad.
No.
I guess if you have those 2 units available.
Yeah.
Would be one thing.
And I mean and there's you could see almost a play here where you go in, like you were like, right, if I don't score too much here, I'm going to deliberately underscore.
True.
So allow you to get ahead, and then in turn 2, I'm going to put 2 of my big units out that you're not expecting. And I'm going to delete that, and that. That's a game changer.
That's true. So maybe people will play the swing, if that's maybe the right
I think good generals
like,
are gonna deliberately underscore to play the swing. Yeah.
Like not like, I'm just trying to think, like, because they could like pull back on the primary mission first, turn 1 and turn 2, turn 3 they get the big swing, which then just kind of
on your go turn, if you've got that, you want that extra free stratagem in your back pocket, don't you?
Yeah, that's true.
So
might be a good way to swing.
The other thing I'm thinking is you only get to use these if you're 6 or more victory points behind.
Yeah.
So if you're 6, let's say you're 8 victory points ahead of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can score 3 victory points. I'm still going to be 5 behind.
Yeah.
But then and then I don't get access to any more of those cards because I'm only 5 instead of 6 behind.
True. Yeah.
So why would I do that? I'm always going to take the free strat end of it and try and use that to hurt you to then enable me to score more in the future.
It almost hurts those armies that are easy, like that can easily capture points early doors, such as like the flayed ones, obviously with the infiltrate and such.
It's gonna change the game, isn't it?
Yeah, because
really change the game.
Turn 1 you could be on objectives, and then turn 2 you're scoring, but like turn 1 you can easily get
close by an objective, so you're gonna you're scoring it on turn
turn 2 or score some easy primaries and secondaries turn 1. So
it's really going to change the game. I think.
Interesting to see how it goes. So we recommend that it's going to be completely changing the game, like we have for every little secret mission.
Gambits we didn't like. I think secret missions we did like, and I think it's as things have turned out, the novelty value's worn off them, and people have learned how to counter them, etc.
True. Yeah.
And the similar will happen to a certain degree with this, but this is much more. I don't know what the word is, but granular, I want to say. But this, you're going to see this. There's going to be much more back and forth with this because it's not just an end of game play.
It's almost like a catch-up mechanic.
Yeah,
like you're playing a racing game and you suck balls. It's keeping you going.
It's going to, but it doesn't. Interestingly, it's the opposite because in turn 5, I can't. If I'm 6 victory points behind you, scoring that 3 victory points plus my other 2 cards might be enough to swing it, but it's generally speaking, it's not going to help you get ahead of your opponent.
No,
but it's going to be fascinating for sure.
For me, it keeps you in the game. It doesn't put you ahead, as you say. It keeps you there where scoring, because there's nothing worse when you get like turn 2, turn 3, you've scored no primary, and you get absolutely shafted on your secondary missions, and you're like, they've scored like, I don't know, take it down. You've destroyed loads. They've capped 15 primary points, and it's like, well, I'm like 30 points behind now. It's a slow catch-up mechanic, which is okay.
It is. It's okay, and it's going to have a lot of nuance. Good generals are going to make a lot of use of it, but I am very excited. I honestly think it's going to have a massive impact on how we write our lists, as you were saying, how we play the game, and how I was saying in terms of trying to almost not force that mechanic, but trying to game it to make it work for you. There's a lot of play in this.
Heard here first.
Yeah.
It's going to change the game.
I mean,
very good.
Anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, honestly, mate, no, I think that covers it quite nicely, to be fair. I don't want to say anything more. The only thing I was going to say was, which I think we've already kind of covered, I was a bit confused with if this is going to be as part of the game or sold separately, but this sounds like it's going to be replacing the mission deck, getting rid of secret missions and coming up with its own cards.
Absolutely need to learn from their mistakes, because when the prior Nexus deck came out, they had massively underproduced that.
Yeah.
And there are people that still don't own that. They just did a refresh, did a stock refresh last month, I think it was. So
a bit late though.
Yeah, but it's very, very, very late. Yeah.
Considering this is now going to be coming out, so
they absolutely need to have enough stock. They need to learn from the last one how many people are going to want these cards and make sure there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
I'm spending my point here. Double point for that one. There you go.
Get it sorted.
And the other thing is, and I keep whinging on about this or banging on about it, but I know they're bringing asymmetric war in for some casual games.
Yeah.
But I just want to see an only war style deck, which with like nice, easy, casual pickup game missions that
destroy, kill.
People that are more casual 40k players than us, which is let's be honest, a vast amount of the hobby.
It's getting. I mean, again, that could be also an intro people where they get intro before they go into
before you go into the more match play competitive stuff. So they still need to do that.
Definitely.
Good.
Perfect. Well, we've already touched on this slightly, so we'll not spend too much more time on it. But obviously, the Codex roadmap that they've obviously been releasing and showing us.
Yes.
I know we briefly mentioned how this was going to be like the year of chaos. So currently, we've got like Thousand Suns coming out, Death Guard, World Eaters that are coming out,
and Space Wolves,
Space Wolves alongside that. Again, what's coming up next after that is the Black Templars, Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, and Grey Knights.
Yes, all the Knights.
All the Knights. And then after that, they've been hinting towards some Salamanders.
The obvious hints,
is Salamanders, Votan, and Imperial Fists.
Yes.
So a good lineup, but based on what we've seen so far, it's kind of put a little bit of downer. Again, with obviously the year of chaos being so hyped for most of them to only get one model release.
Yeah,
doesn't
and like
hope for the other ones.
And as you said, I mean, demons are part of chaos, and yes, you can still play them with the Deity Legion. Like World Eaters can get Corn Demons, but they're not getting their own codex, are they?
No,
it's definitely confirmed now.
Exactly. So yeah, no demons. Getting spread in multiple chaos.
Yeah. I was going to say there was a little wait for your as an Imperial Knights enjoyer, but it's coming.
It is coming. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
And again, you know what? I feel like I've not been too bothered by it massively, mainly because they are still able to hold their own against codexes with their index. So I'm happy enough where they're at, where we don't need the codex, because again, they haven't been completely shoved out the way in the meta. But again, at this point now, they are. If you only played Imperial Knights, you need that flavor. So the codex is going to be quite nice because it's going to bring a lot more ways to play them, which is what they want. Whereas index, they want
as someone that plays against Imperial Knights, I've convinced myself that at least one of those detachments will be ridiculously good, because I think it's just the knights are hard to balance. When you're writing 5 or 6 detachments, one of them is going to be good.
I don't think they're
unintentionally good.
I think they're only going to get 3 or 4.
Do you?
Personally.
Interesting.
Yeah, because again, with the count that they've got, I just don't think they're going to. Like, I mean, you look at the Space Marines, they got like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Get loads, Eldar get loads.
They'll get loads. So yeah, I think they're not
Eldar.
Speaking about Eldar/Jakari, I don't see Jakari on the list there, mate. Do you?
Where are the Dark Eldar on the Codex roadmap?
Wait, what are Dark Eldar? Yeah, no one knows who they are. No one wants.
Well, apparently not. No,
no,
absolutely unloved. We've got half our models, like the units that are in our index, are out of print because they're all resin. They've never had plastic models. They are absolutely at the moment the most unloved faction.
Maybe they're saving the best to last, Dan. Maybe they got a big grand reveal, full range refresh.
I am clinging on to that hope. Yeah. So, I mean, the roadmap looks like it runs to the end of 2025. So we're definitely not getting a codex then. And we're either going to get no codex like demons, and they're just going to roll us into the Eldar codex, which would be horrible.
You would hate buying that. You would despise it. You'd rip out all the Eldar pages. And be like, nah.
I actually own it because
what?
Well, you can run Harlequins with Dark Eldar, but I needed the Eldar codex. So I am as much as I shake my fist, I am an Eldar Codex owner, and but I play. They're it's a bit like the Codex Astartes. Dark Eldar and Harlequins are like as far as you can get from compliant Eldar as you possibly can. But generally the community is a bit kind of upset, but we are pinning our hopes on the fact that the last codex usually gets a big range refresh. So World Eaters last year, last edition, sorry. So I'm hoping to get a range refresh and the return of Asdrubal Vect, who is the king of Kimura, and some narrative. I'm expecting. The reason I'm hopeful about this is because GW is really enjoying bringing back Space Marine Primarchs at the moment.
Certainly are. Yes.
And one of the ones that's still missing is Jagatai Khan from the White Scars, who disappeared fighting Dark Eldar.
Yep.
Oh look, he's back. Asdrubal Vec's back.
Big box set.
Yeah, they've just took
sides.
our one big set piece model has just gone to Legends, and our big battle barge.
Yes.
But in the old days, Vex had a battle barge, so they kind of discontinued it because it had naked ladies on it. Yes.
How dare they?
Yes,
How
very
dare they?
rude. So I'm wondering if that's going to come back as Vex transport, but without the naked ladies.
Damn, not buying it.
No.
What's the point?
So yeah, fingers crossed. It's going to be. Basically, we are where we are. The Jakari players are kind of accepting of it. They're not really as salty as some of the faction players.
Yeah,
they're just kind of dealing with it.
You're just used to it now.
Yeah, there's also not many others, I think.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like you like the abuse. It's a bit on brand.
The army rule is power from pain, but it's like we like to inflict the pain to get the power, not be inflicted on us. No, that's too Slanesh. But yeah, so hopefully we're just gonna have to see. It hurts a bit when you're not to know that you're only going to have a playable codex for a few weeks before a new edition launches.
It sucks. I'll take that for free.
But we don't know. Like, if you remember from 8th to 9th, the late 8th edition codexes were still valid in 9th.
Yes, they were.
So people were playing the 8th edition Imperial
event.
Guard codex right up until the end of the edition when you got your new one. And it might be 10th to 11th might be the same. We just don't know. We don't know.
It would make more sense and it would be better for the players.
They had to go do Index Hammer for 10th because Codex Creep in 9th had been mental. Which we've just done a video recapping that, haven't we?
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past.
Pump and dump.
Pump and dump.
Yes. But if they keep a lid on that, then there's no need to go back to Index Hammer in 11th. So maybe I'll get my late Codex. It'll be really strong, and it'll carry me right, through.
Carry you on. Hopefully, then a nice little range refresh would be good. And again, seeing
Jagatai would be nice for the White Scars. White Scars need something. They're the one chapter that's not really getting a lot of love at the moment.
But that's not it. There's even more to talk about from this Adepticon reveal.
I wanted to touch on this, and you can take us through it. But it's Killteam, but.
Your passion. I'll happily let you talk about this. Yeah. You're a lot more passionate than me.
Yeah, you're not not feeling it.
Well, there's a reason for that. So go ahead, Dan.
So this is the new Killteam box announced is Killteam Typhon, and this is Tyranids finally getting a Killteam because they've never had one for ages. They've never had one. Yes, and the new Nids for this, I think they look really cool. Raveners. I don't own any Raveners, so I've been waiting to see if they're going to do some new sculpts. The new sculpts look amazing, so I'm sold on that. But it also comes with this what I think is really thematic Tyranids terrain, which is really good for Killteam because generally speaking they're doing ruins and platforms and stuff like that. But this edition of Killteam they're trying to do a bit more, and they've gone with a really kind of, I mean, it's all like Tyranid terrain.
It's very, to me at least, it's very reminiscent of the Dawn of War style.
Yeah.
Things that you would like, the base building element side of things.
Very much so. Yes.
This is what I see. I don't see this as like, this is just random bits everywhere. This fits and it's meant to be together. So for me, I really like it. I'm just quite desensitized to terrain right now because I just feel like 3D prints are getting so much better in like I guaranteed the sculptors out there will already be making very similar styles to this that are ready to go.
There's some there is some 3D, really good 3D Tyranid terrain already out there because GW has left this so long. It's like anything else. If you leave a gap in the market, somebody will fill it.
Absolutely there.
So there is some cracking 3D terrain out there, 3D printed terrain that's a fraction of the price of this. But but
I think the models like the Ravengers, I need them for my list because they have the uppy downy as well.
Yes,
for Tyranids, which is what I love. So I need some of them. So I might pick up the box. I might not pick up the full collection box set with like the terrain and such, but I think I might pick up one box.
Yeah, I'm tempted. If it's Tyranids versus Admech, we didn't even talk about the Admech.
Yeah, sorry, Admech. Get out of here.
My Admech players are used to have been ignored.
So do you guys have a Codex?
Yeah,
get out of here.
It's not very good. But yeah, so if the box is a reasonable price, and I can find somebody that likes AdMech that will pay for the AdMech bit,
Sure.
then I'll probably pick it up.
There's no AdMech terrain in this, is
No,
there?
it's just
I
NID.
didn't see any.
No,
Yeah.
but they've had previous editions have had AdMech terrain in, so
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. But to be fair, like I say, looking back on that terrain again one last time, it screams Tyranid to me. You know, you've got like the piles where obviously they're collecting the biomass, of course.
Yeah.
You've got the sections where it's like kind of pierced through the earth to kind of get more stuff out there.
It's lush.
They've done an incredible job.
It is really nice, but like you said, it's nothing there that you couldn't go and buy from somebody else.
Fraction of the price
on Etsy or whatever.
But again, it's there, it's out there. I think it's going to look good. I'm
really interested to see what rules they give it in Killteam as well, because it looks like it's going to have some kind of rules as rather than just be, you know, not just the terrain as terrain. Is it going to be interactable? I guess if that's a word.
Maybe,
interactive.
Interactive. Maybe our first battle report is on Killteam.
Well, I really, you know, this might finally get me into Killteam.
Yeah.
The painting phase, which is hands down my favourite podcast still for 40k.
Not us.
No. No.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
But they've been talking a lot about Killteam lately, and it's kind of, you know, just by listening to them and their enthusiasm for it, I've been thinking about it, and I really want this box might be the one that shifts us in.
Happens.
But if we did it, you and me would just argue over who had to play the AdMech.
we'll both play Tyranids.
Yeah. Nids v Nids. Yeah.
We'll get someone else in to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But yeah, I think, you know, maybe the time has come to have a look at Killteam. We'll see. I don't want to just be like copying what Patrick and Jeff doing, but they've genuinely made me enthusiastic about it, and this new box has kind of tipped me over the edge.
That's what you want, though. You want to watch the people who kind of inspire you to kind of to try new things as well. So trying it isn't bad.
Their podcast for the last basically give them a free advert, but their podcast recently, the last couple of months, has been absolutely bang on. Like they're back on really good form. Good form.
Yeah. I've been enjoying the last couple as well.
Highly recommended. But not at the expense of watching us, obviously.
Finish this episode. There you go. But again, very good. Worth checking out.
And then there's one more thing to touch on, which is
final thing. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth covering for the sake of completion, but at the moment we still don't play Crusade, but there is a new Crusade book.
Exactly. We talk about it all the time. Crusade is something that I would love to get into personally. I love the idea of kind of having a unit that gets upgraded as time goes on and kind of gets better, and it
gets battle scars.
Exactly. It's inspired me in the past to, like, when units perform well, to give them like a little bit of a different paint scheme.
Yeah, a little bit of a glow up. Yeah,
exactly. It kind of makes you want to do it, but like for me, it's just I don't have the time to do it right now. I need someone else to organise it and then just tell me when to come and come play. That's what
there's been some chatter. I think our friend Max is very interested in that kind of side of things, but we just haven't. He's been really busy as well. He's been away a lot. So
sailing the seas, sailing the seven seas.
Yes. So once we he's a pirate. So once we
we'll leave it at
that. Once he gets back from Somalia, we'll get our crusade on. Yeah.
Yes. He's on his own little crusade.
Yes. I'm the captain now. Look at me.
Look at me.
Sorry, Max.
Yeah, so the throwing
the new book's Chaos versus Grey Knights, which is another reason why people thought Grey Knights were going to be before Space Wolves, because it felt like their time was now.
It makes sense, right? It's like a year of chaos.
Yeah,
exactly. Grey Knights is the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And like I felt really jarred watching the reveal, because they were saying about like how Armageddon, had this really cool intro. It was like Armageddon. It's like the frontier of like just conflict, and the red thirsters came out. Who's come to save them? It was Grey Knights. And then
it's the same old Grey Knights.
Space Wolves.
And
it was like, well, hold on. It's like Space Wolves. They're not even in the desert. Sorry, they're not even in the snow.
No.
What's going on? It just felt random to me.
There's obviously, for whatever reason, something's happened, and they've decided to. Maybe there was a problem with something with Grey Knights that we don't know about behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but it just, the timing of this just felt like this should have been Grey Knights for the, like you said, they're the perfect opponents versus the Year of Chaos.
Yeah.
They were obviously included in this book to be against Chaos for the narrative, and then the models just haven't appeared yet. So it's just another one of those.
Maybe there's no Demon Codex yet, because they're going to be a Demons versus Grey Knight thing. Maybe,
it'd be very interesting. I mean, the rumor mill is so good now. Like, they've got so many moles within GW that usually it's usually right, and all of the gossip has been demons aren't getting a Codex, but demons versus Grey Knights in a battle box sound would be perfect, really, wouldn't it?
It really would. It really would.
But
It's thematic.
Yeah.
But again, this one was just a little bit jarring for me. Still good reveals, and I love the intro, and it definitely pumped me up a bit.
Yeah, looks like a good book.
does.
I'm not going to complain.
I'm looking forward to Auspex Tactics, who just gives me the breakdown.
Yeah.
But
it's worth if you like that. Basically, as always, if you like that kind of thing, or you want to give narrative a go, it's going to be a great opportunity to jump in.
It certainly is. It certainly is. But honestly, that was a boatload of stuff to go into.
I mean, we didn't even talk about the non 40k stuff, and it was. They did. I mean, some of the stuff that launched for the old world, they did the big reveal for Cathay, which is like the kind of Southeast Asian faction, and they've got these like.
I heard coffee.
Yeah.
I go for a coffee.
No, Cathay was like Cathay is kind of an old name for that kind of sort of Chinese area, and. They have a lot of that Chinese influence, so they've got this. One of their set pieces is like a giant terracotta warrior.
Right,
that looks good.
Is that the stone kind
of
statue? Yeah. It did look really good.
Good.
The double-handed kind of scythe like that.
That's badass.
It did look cool. I did like that.
But yeah, there's loads there. If you're interested in more, there's plenty of videos out there to go and watch about the Sigmar and the old world stuff. But the 40k stuff, I think, final thoughts wise, we're pretty happy.
I again, as I mentioned at the very start, I think this outweighed all the other stuff. Personally, it's the first time in a long time. But I think they've done a fantastic reveal, fantastic units lacking more units, but what they've sent out so far is pretty good. Happy with all the changes. So overall, for me, I thought it was a very good Adepticon.
It was a really good one. Smashed it out of the park. Great for Space Wolves players. Disappointing for Grey Knights. Slightly disappointing for the non-Emperor's Children Chaos players. But you can't have everything all at once.
Can't be greedy.
No. But my main takeaway is I think is potentially getting into Killteam. But the one thing that stood out for me is the new card deck. I'm really, really, really excited about this.
It's going to change the game.
It is going to change the game.
Guaranteed.
It's definitely going to shake things up.
I'm looking forward to trying it at least again. Secret missions and gambits didn't work for me.
No.
So hopefully.
Third time lucky.
Third time's a charm. They've got it. They're going to nail it. How many times? But they're going to nail it.
Good.
Very nice. Yeah,
awesome.
Well, I think that's it then, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Well,
good chat.
It absolutely was. And massive thank you to obviously all of our Patrons and YouTube members out there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have your names on screen. Again, your contribution and such will be... It's going to help us so much.
It's massive. I keep saying this, but we're saving up for new equipment. It's a slow grow. We've had some new patrons again this week. Thank you so much. If you haven't already signed up, it's very affordable tiers. You don't have to jump in at the premium end, but chuck us a few quid, really would, or a few dollars wherever you are in the world. We'd really appreciate it.
And in return, got the Discord. That is free. Please join.
Yes.
It's got loads of cool stuff in
Discord's still absolutely bouncing.
It's so good.
There are such a, and I keep saying this, so I can't say it enough, but they're a lovely community. It's not just people talking over each other. There is loads of advice on all aspects of the hobby in there. Painting, building, playing, lore. We're talking about a lot of good stuff, and they're a wonderful bunch of supportive people. It's free, so come on, join the Discord.
Yep, please do.
Good.
And then apart from that, that's it really, isn't it?
We'll be back next week, obviously, with another video. I hope you enjoy this one, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.